pondering what I'm pondering.
All right, we're going to do question and answer. I'm going to come down and roll amongst all of you. And have your hands up. I'll come find you. We'll start with questions. I think question one is going to be, talk us through how you got the part, Pinky and the Brain. They like to hear that stuff, right guys?
I paid Stephen a lot of money.
I loaned him the money to pay Stephen.
Yes! My friend the Brain, this is so nice of you guys to come see us. We are so happy to be here.
You know, we walked in and oh my God, this room is huge. Is anybody going to show up? And look at you, you're filling the room up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's so great to see all of you.
Thank you. For those of you coming in, the $20 seats are now going for $5. So come on up front. It makes us feel.
Hold it on frame.
It looks great on YouTube when it's being streamed live. See, like the place is full.
Yeah. So in answer to that question, I mean, we did it the way we get, most stuff in show business. We went out and auditioned our little hearts out. You know, the call came down. We'd already been on Tiny Toons together, and we had this new show.
Oh, honey, I'm loud. This is loud. Pizza roll.
Is that Stitch? What? Is that Stitch?
Yeah, I was foul mouth, F-O-W-L. And I was saying things like, yeah, you I like that. Dadgummit, why you for 2 cents on dadgummit, you, I put someone side down the other dadgummit, and yes, in fact, I did swear. And they would beep it out, and we put in dadgummit, but it was incredibly great. And it was Tom Hoover, and the genius behind
Sorry, folks.
Animaniacs, and now, Disney 70,
Which Maurice?
I like grumpy. Typecast. But I love a cheese.
Watch the 7D. You know what? No matter what age you are, Tom Hoover has made sure that this is a show that will be enjoyable for adults and kids, even though it's skewed to kids. It's got some of that Animaniacs-y kind of archness. You're going to love the 7D. They make you laugh. We've got a great cast on 7D. We've got Billy West, we've got Scott Menville, Stephen Stanton, Kevin Michael Richardson, the great Bill Farmer, Goofy as Doc, and Kevin's happy. He's just so goddamn happy all the time. That it's almost a kind of Pinky in the Brain kind of dynamic, because he's so friggin' cheerful and grumpy. He's so grumpy. His catchphrase is, "Do I have to be behind him?" You're gonna love it. So tune into the 7D TiVo, and it's on 10 o'clock in the morning on Disney XD. But anyway, so our friends from Tiny Toons knew they wanted to have in, at least to begin with, the core cast of Tiny Toons to try for this new show, Animaniacs, where they said it's going to be a totally different universe. There's going to be no Bugs Bunny, whereas the Tiny Toons they were like the descendants of, or of the same species, and we were learning from Bugs and Daffy at Acme University. They wanted us to, this Animaniacs took place in the whole of the universe, and so we came in, and I was the first one in. I had the very first audition. It's the only time in my entire career I was on time for an audition. It was 9 a.m. and I was there at 8:59 a.m. And the first thing they put in front of me was this lab mouse with this giant head and this Orson Welles face. Or at least I thought it was an Orson Welles face.
Yeah.
Turns out, it had nothing to do with Orson Welles. They weren't thinking Orson Welles. They based the character on Tom Minton, who was a writer at Warner Bros. Animation. But I saw Orson Welles, so I thought, created a little show for you. Me and my Orson Welles impression that I drive everybody crazy with. And lo and behold, I did the Orson Welles thing, and they went perfect.
Yeah.
So apparently I was cast on the spot. They never saw anybody else with Brain all day. But my dear friend,
Yes. His dear friend.
Robert Paulsen.
I think it was a fait accompli. I think that once Maurice, read for the Brain as the Brain, as what you guys know as the Brain, it was a done deal. There were many people who auditioned for Pinky. I don't know why I decided to throw in that English sort of accent. When I was a kid, my heroes, among others, were the Pythons and Peter Sellers and the Goons and all those guys.
Which we bonded over when we first met.
And
we all knew all the words called Python.
And then we became, we're huge fans of Peter Cook and Dudley Moore and all those guys. The the two Ronnies and Ronnie Corbett.
British comedy on the buses.
Yeah.
Doctor in the House. So when I met him on Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, I don't know, I let fly with some Pythonism or some Dudley Moore Peter Cook thing. He just jumped on it, and all of a sudden we did an entire Python sketch in like 5 minutes. This is my brother. Yeah.
We had a Pythonathon. So
and on and on and on and on.
So I was so fortunate to get the gig. I presumed that Mr. Spielberg and Mr. Ruger just sort of determined that that was a good fit. I do know. Maurice told me, and I subsequently had it confirmed by the person himself, was that John Astin, our friend Gomez Adams, came in second as the voice of Pinky.
Yeah, at the end of the first day of casting, they thought, well, it'll be Mo and John Astin. And then Rob came in for his audition. He's always on time. The next day. And Pinky sold it, and they thought these two guys would be hilarious.
It was, and interestingly, Mo and I worked with John Astin on Tasmania. We were both regulars on Tasmania.
And on Killer Tomatoes.
And Killer Tomatoes, and then I did an animated version of The Addams Family in which John played himself. And now, on the new Ninja Turtles, his boy, Sean, is Raphael. So it's kind of a really interesting little way to turn it.
He did a little picture called Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. He doesn't wear his rubber feet at work, though. And Maurice, I love it. Maurice was the voice of Taz's father.
Howdy ho there, son. How about you, blah, 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 yakety schmackety.
I love it.
That's a show that...
Bing Crosby as Taz's father.
We probably had more fun making that show than any other show, but it didn't have the Steven Spielberg, imprint on it, so it kind of got shuffled away to the, mid-afternoon time slot. We didn't go back for more, but we had such a great time. It was a Friday. We had a party every Friday in Tasmania. It was great.
Have you got some questions for us, Jeffrey?
I'm looking right now. No
hands. Questions?
We'll start right here.
What have we got for Jeffrey? Come on now! Hello, Johnny Olsen.
Two things. One, if you made Snow White in the Seven Samurai, I'd totally watch that.
I'm sorry, what?
If you made Snow White in the Seven Samurai, I would totally watch
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, you thought of it. Two, did they make Yes Always after you did the impression of Orson Welles for the brain?
Yes, they did.
Very astute young man.
Yep, very, very much so. They made that episode, hopefully, to shut me up.
Do you guys know what is your name, sir? Joe. Do you guys know what Joey is referring to? All right, give them a brief explanation.
Okay, so New Year's Eve 1984, I'm doing the recording session that lasts almost up to midnight. It's the longest session I've ever been in. We're dubbing a French puppet show into English. Oh my God, I was there. We were literally there 12 hours doing this. Phil Proctor from the Fireside Theater. At the end of the day, when it was us, he said, "Here, this will cheer you up," because I totally missed out on my New Year's Eve plans. He said, "This will cheer you up." He gives me this tape with all these great outtakes on it. And the first thing on the tape is an outtake of Orson Welles doing a frozen peas commercial in England. And him getting extremely and hilariously irritated with these two directors who are giving him the most ridiculous direction, emphasizing certain words, etc., etc.
And to be fair, these knuckleheads are giving Orson Welles direction.
Exactly. So I started listening to this tape in my car over and over and over and over and over again. It becomes my daily listen until I start putting him in between my ears, and I start being able to do so. Now it took me about a month. I memorized the entire thing, all three parts, and all of a sudden, whenever there's a lull in the studio,
he goes,
and they're checking levels or whatever, I just don't like to sit there.
You know what it will find. Lincolnshire, where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there.
Great
You
job.
And I go through the whole thing, and he gets to the point where he goes, "Now what is it you want in your depths of your ignorance? What is it you want? Whatever it is you want, I can't deliver because I just don't see it."
Now it's verbatim that Maurice knows this.
So I know it down to the T, and I start doing it. And so for about 3 years in the business, I'm driving engineers and directors nuts.
We all love it because we know the outtake, and Mo has it perfectly, and it's freaking hysterical. And he does.
But they've all heard it 100 times, and yet somebody always goes, "No, let him go on. I want to hear it." So it wastes a whole lot of time. And
finally, so they write this PhD in the great episode called Yes,